Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and this video is brought to you by Brace Yourself Games and the launch of Rift of the Necrodancer. Rift of the Necrodancer just released a few days ago, and man, has this game caught me by surprise. You know, Steam drops so many games. There are so many games regularly coming out on Steam, and it's hard to follow everything, and it's hard to have an eye on absolutely everything. But they reached out to me about Rift of the Necrodancer, and looking into this game immediately caught my eye from an art direction standpoint. I think the art style is awesome. A music rhythm title here with a lot of depth to it, which we'll get to in a little bit. But music rhythm as a genre in gaming is something I've always been into. If you're telling me I'm getting a video game with a good soundtrack, which by the way, Rift of the Necrodancer, the tunes are absolutely catchy, but if you got a good soundtrack, you already got me hooked. Even if music rhythm games at the hardest difficulties get a little bit too challenging for me, thankfully Rift of the Necrodancer offers a variety of difficulty options, and yeah, I might be sticking to easy or medium for now. Let's be honest here. Your boy did try to play some of this game at hard, and it's just a little bit too difficult for me right now. Maybe I'll get good enough to get to that level. But as far as Rift of the Necrodancer goes, it's one of those games that initially, as I'm going through the tutorial and they're introducing me to the gameplay mechanics, which by the way, you can play this game with a keyboard or a controller. I am playing with a controller. It's very simplistic on the surface. You've got 3 buttons that you really have to keep an eye on. On a controller, it would be your D-pad left, D-pad up, or D-pad right, using them in conjunction with X, Y, and B. Both of those 3 sets of buttons cover the same keys on screen that you'll see. It's just when you have multiple keys that you need to hit at the same time, utilizing both the D-pad as well as X, Y, B. That's how you figure that out. And going through the tutorial, it's one of those games that you're like, man, okay, this seems fairly simplistic. So how the game works is you've got a variety of enemies coming down on screen. You've got blue slimes that take 2 clicks, green slimes, for example, just 1 click. Then you've got bats that'll jump around onto the screen, and you've got other enemies that they gradually introduce you. And even as they're introducing you to these different enemies, utilizing them in a music rhythm style of gameplay, I already found that rather fascinating and an interesting way to implement a music rhythm game. But then as you play more, you realize that there's a lot of depth to the gameplay, and initially I was like, man, maybe I could get past this game at medium or hard. And currently, as I'm playing this game, hard is pushing it way too much for me. It gets a little bit too difficult, and that's because while you are introduced to these enemies in the tutorials and what each of them do, when you actually see them in conjunction with one another is where the depth of the game actually shines through, and how quick on your feet you gotta be. Okay, this enemy takes 2 hits to take out, but then that brings in another enemy onto the screen. You gotta remember to click both the buttons at the same time. It's just a lot to take in, but it makes a very exhilarating experience. Heart pounding at times, and definitely will get you sweating. The early levels, you know, I was able to get through those at medium. First tried a lot of them at medium, and then as you get deeper and deeper, and again, these enemies are shown to you in conjunction and you're taking out all of them at the same time, that's when the game starts pushing you. And there's already people that are easily playing this game at hard, or dare even go to the impossible territory of difficulty, which that's not where I'm gonna jump into right now, maybe even ever. Thankfully for me, what I appreciate about this game is the great art direction. This game is awesome from a visual and character design standpoint, reminiscent a little bit to me of The World Ends With You in terms of the character design and how the dialogue is structured. The story itself is fairly laid back, but you got a few twists and turns along the way, but you've got this likable cast of characters and something that it just has a charm. I think good vibes is the term that just shines through when you're playing Rift of the Necrodancer. This is a game that is fun to play, and sure, if you're playing at a harder difficulty, can it be pretty challenging? Can it be almost infuriating? Yes, but that's because you're tailoring that experience. If you're playing at the harder difficulty, you want something really pushing you. If you want something on the easier side of things, stick to easier medium, and you can appreciate the game from all the other angles. Again, the great art direction, the great tracks. The tracks in this game are incredibly catchy, and you've got layers to the gameplay. While you've got this intricate style of music rhythm gameplay with all of these different enemies, there's a couple of other things. There's mini games as well. Early on, you'll go through a yoga mini game in the story mode. and you've got a plethora of other minigames, and then you have boss battles as well, which they have a different style of gameplay to them on top of that. And if you just want to play tracks casually, one at a time, you obviously have that option, and you've got daily challenges as well that'll give you a reason to go back and play the game every day. The game itself notes show-stopping music, brand new soundtrack with 30 plus rhythm riff tracks, difficulty that scales with you. You've got 4 intensity levels: easy, medium, hard, and impossible. Easy, everybody's gonna be able to breeze through that. Medium is where I found the challenge to really ramp up. Deeper on, as you get into the end of chapter 1 into chapter 2, the story's broken down into 5 chapters. And I found medium was a good balance of the game being challenging but rewarding at the same time. And depending on your skill level with music rhythm games, hey, you might find hard to be where you start off with right off the bat. Climb your way to the top of the global leaderboards. You've got custom music as well. There's already music flooding in on the Steam Workshop that you can implement into the game, and you have the opportunity to create your own custom beat maps with the actual developer tools that the designers use as well. And once you've conquered the handcrafted levels, challenge your sight reading with Remix Mode. Remix Mode throws a fresh beat map your way every playthrough while retaining the original level's rhythmic design. Remix Mode also makes daily challenges possible. Now, those daily challenges, I jumped right in and I saw the daily challenge tab, and I started daily challenge before I really delved into anything else. Bad idea. Absolutely bad idea. Get a good feel for the game and then jump into the daily challenges, because that's on another level. It changes up the circumstance for each song. Play the same random seed as every other player that day and see how you rank on the global leaderboards, again, giving you reason to go back. And outside of that core music rhythm gameplay, you've got the mini games as well, which are a bit of a break from the typical gameplay, but that music rhythm gameplay is the core of the game. Right now, as I'm recording this video on Steam, it's already cracked the overwhelmingly positive threshold, 98% positive across the 540 reviews. You've got a 10% launch discount as well, $17.99 for that. $19.99 is the regular price, but if you buy it by February 11th, you will get it for $17.99. And you may have played Crypt of the Necrodancer, a little bit different than that. That game came out all the way back in April of 2015, and it is on sale for 80% off for $2.99. But Rift of the Necrodancer, absolutely add this game to your wish list if you're remotely into music rhythm games. The art style is so incredibly charming, the tracks are great and incredibly catchy, and the gameplay's got a lot of depth to it, which it's one of those games that you go through the tutorial, you think you've got a decent idea of what this game will entail, and then you're hit with the enemies in conjunction, which add to the gameplay. You're hit with the boss battles and so on and so forth. Check it out for yourself. I'll leave a link in the description box below. Again, thank you to Brace Yourself Games for sponsoring this video and promoting Rift of the Necrodancer. With so many games coming out on Steam regularly, this one stands out with its great visual style, nuanced music rhythm gameplay, and replayability with the daily challenges, and creating your own music and checking out the custom creations as well. That's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below, and check out Rift of the Necrodancer for yourself. Link in the description box below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.